so yesterday I did this activity as like a guided reading activity.
Okay.
And one of the questions for number 3 is what is the main idea of the third paragraph? So with like the first 2 questions, I'm fine because I feel comfortable getting my kids finding the evidence in the reading. When it's like explicitly there,
Right.
that's fine. I can teach them how to answer in a complete sentence. For me, it's when it's not explicitly stated that I'm having trouble.
Right.
Like,
So
stating it.
as you're reading, what are you having them do?
Okay, so first I had them do like a read by themselves.
Okay.
So I give them 5 minutes to read the passage on their own. Talked about the text features, and then I read it with them. So I'm reading out loud, and they're touching the words, and then when I stop, they read a word. So just to make sure they're all with me. So by that point, we've had 2 readings. So then we went back and like we'll go through the question together, and then we'll circle the key words. So why did the Pilgrims leave England? Those are the words you need to have when you're answering your question. And then also I'm trying to teach them to write like according to the text.
Right.
So citing evidence. So that's all needs to be in there. Complete sentence. So that was all good for number 1 and number 2. They were able to do that. So what they do is they have a highlighter, and then they'll show me like where they found their answer.
Right.
And so then I'll say either point to it with your finger or underline it with your pencil. So then they'll find their answer, they'll like underline it, and then I'll approve it. Once I approve it, they can highlight it. Then we turn it into the answer. They write it in their answer. Okay, but it's this one that I had trouble. So we're doing paragraph 3, right? So my one idea, which I heard from another teacher, was to give them a Post-it and have them try to write what they think the main idea is and cover it, and then they shared it with their groups. And then the groups, I let them discuss it and then modify it if they wanted to.
I do something similar. It's not on sticky notes, but after each paragraph, I tell them, okay, what was it mostly talking about? And they talk amongst themselves, and they can't come up with a main idea keyword, and we annotate it. So we have one word for each paragraph that they put right next to the paragraph.
Ooh, I like that.
And so you can see if they write a funky word right here, just as you're walking by, you can quickly see, are you sure that's a detail? Did it talk about that once in one sentence, or did you keep seeing it over and over and over again?
Okay.
And usually if you have them do that, it kind of draws their attention to the main idea is a big thing. It's not a whole sentence. It's a repeating
Has
thing.
to be more than one. Okay.
So you can totally do the sticky note, absolutely. I can't figure out how to manage sticky notes, so I don't do the sticky note thing, but yeah, that would be, I think it's good if they're talking with their groups for sure, because then that filters out the details before they get to the writing part.
Right. Okay. So then I guess the next step would be like, this question is just one question about what is the main idea. So we just answered it in one sentence, but I know you guys are really big on taking that to a paragraph. So so then where would you go from there? So say you wanted to elaborate on this, and like I've heard a lot of people turn this into a paragraph.
I mean, paragraph, I would say, is stretching a little bit. I mean, how do you define a paragraph?
Well,
how many sentences for your
Well,
kids?
no, so this would be the topic sentence.
Right.
And I would say like that they need to go back and find 3 details in that paragraph.
Right. So, I mean, for this type of short answer, I use the race for it. So they're answering in like 3 sentences for each of these.
Oh, so what do they have to say?
So they would restate and answer the question in their first part. So like, why did the Pilgrims leave England in 1620? The Pilgrims left England for religious reasons, period. And then they cite evidence. That's their second sentence. My high kids, I can push to the E, which is the explain the evidence. Explain how the evidence supports your first statement.
Okay.
My lower kids, the RAC is kind of as far as we go.
So what is our restate the question?
Restate the question, and then the A is answer it. So the R and the A become your first sentence.
Oh, I see.
Okay. So they're crossing off the clue word, the question words, and then they're using this as the structure to begin their statement. The